Most people pray like beggars. They come to the table of abundance with their heads bowed, their voices weak, their expectations small. They whisper requests as if asking permission from a stingy master who might deny them. They pray and then immediately doubt. They ask and then retreat into worry. They declare abundance and then speak poverty the moment they open their eyes. This is why their prayers die before they reach the heavens. This is why their financial struggles continue year after year, generation after generation. The cycle repeats endlessly because they have not learned the fundamental truth about prayer and provision. They treat prayer as if it were a lottery ticket, a desperate gamble, a last resort when all else has failed. If you pray this way, you must stop now. You are insulting the very power that can transform your life. You are approaching the throne of abundance like a frightened child instead of a rightful heir. You are denying your birthright with every timid word that leaves your lips. The prayer that activates financial abundance is not a plea, it is a command. It is not a wish, it is a declaration of what already belongs to you. The ancient words were written for this very purpose. They were not poetry meant to comfort the suffering. They were instructions for those who would understand the laws that govern prosperity. The shepherd does not leave his sheep to starve. He leads them to green pastures. He guides them to still waters. He prepares a table before them in the presence of their enemies. This is not poetry. This is law, the law of provision, the law of abundance, the law that governs how wealth flows to those who understand their place in the order of creation. You are not here to beg. You are here to claim what has been set aside for you since before you drew your first breath. The resources you need already exist. The opportunities you seek are already in motion. The wealth you desire is already flowing in your direction. But you must pray with the authority of one who knows this truth. You must speak as one who understands that provision is not a favor to be granted, but a promise to be fulfilled. Most of you have been taught to pray small, to ask for just enough, to be grateful for scraps, to accept lack as some kind of spiritual test. Your religious leaders told you that poverty builds character. Your parents told you that wanting money is greedy. Your culture told you that suffering is noble and abundance is suspicious. This is a lie that keeps you poor. This is a deception that has enslaved entire generations. This is the programming that must be deleted from your mind if you ever want to break free from financial struggle. The universe does not reward humility that disguises itself as fear. It rewards the bold, the certain, the unshakable, those who know what they want and refuse to apologize for wanting it. Those who understand that abundance is not about greed, but about aligning with the natural flow of creation. When you pray for financial abundance, you must speak as though the money is already moving toward you, not because you are arrogant, but because you understand how creation works. Everything that exists in the physical world first existed in the realm of thought, of belief, of consciousness. Every dollar you will ever hold first existed as a thought, a belief, a vibrational match to your dominant state of mind. Prayer is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the mechanism by which the unseen becomes seen. It is the force that translates faith into form, belief into experience, vision into reality. But most people build that bridge with rotten wood. They pray with their lips while their hearts tremble with doubt. They say they believe while their actions scream fear. They declare abundance in the morning and speak poverty by afternoon. They affirm prosperity on Sunday and complain about bills on Monday. The prayer that activates abundance must be spoken with your entire being. Your words, your emotions, your imagination, your faith, all of it must align in one unstoppable current of certainty. There can be no contradiction, no internal division, no war between what you say and what you feel. When you declare that your needs are met, you cannot immediately turn around and complain about bills. When you affirm that wealth flows to you, you cannot spend your day resenting those who have what you claim to want. When you speak abundance, you cannot think poverty. When you pray provision, you cannot imagine lack. Prayer without alignment is noise. It is the sound of a man shouting into the wind and wondering why nothing changes. It is words without power, declarations without conviction, faith without substance. You want financial abundance? Then you must first become the kind of person who expects it, who walks as though it is already here, who speaks and thinks and feels from a place of overflow, not emptiness. You must transform your inner world before your outer world can transform. The shepherd leads his sheep to green pastures, not because the sheep beg, but because it is the nature of the shepherd to provide. This is crucial to understand. Provision is not something you earn through perfect behavior. It is not something you convince God to give you through enough groveling. It is the natural result of understanding your relationship to the source of all supply. You have been provided for. The table has been set. The cup is overflowing. These are not future events dependent on your performance. They are present realities waiting for you to recognize them. But you must sit at the table. You must drink from the cup. You must stop wandering in circles, convinced that provision is somewhere far away when it has been right in front of you the entire time, waiting for you to claim it with the confidence of one who knows they are worthy. Most people are terrified to claim abundance because they believe they do not deserve it. They carry guilt about wanting money. They have been taught that wealth is sinful, that desire is greedy, that ambition is selfish. They have been told that spiritual people should not care about material things, that poverty is somehow more pure than prosperity. These teachings are chains designed to keep you powerless. They are lies that serve those who benefit from your poverty. They are doctrines that ensure you remain small, weak, and dependent. Wealth is not evil. Poverty is not noble. Money is energy. It flows where it is welcomed, where it is respected, where it is used to create value and serve others. Money amplifies who you already are. If you are generous when poor, you will be generous when rich. If you are selfish when poor, you will be selfish when rich. When you pray for financial abundance, you are not asking for something that does not belong to you. You are activating the divine blueprint that has always existed within you. You are aligning with the truth that you were created to thrive, not merely survive. You are stepping into the fullness of your design. The moment you accept this, everything changes. Your prayers stop being desperate and start being powerful. You stop asking and start commanding. You stop hoping and start knowing. You stop begging and start receiving. This is the shift that separates those who live in lack from those who live in plenty. It is not intelligence. It is not connections. It is not luck. It is not even hard work, though hard work plays a role. It is the unshakable belief that you are meant for abundance and the willingness to pray, speak, and act from that belief every single day until the evidence appears in your physical world. It is the refusal to let circumstances dictate your faith. It is the commitment to hold the vision even when everything around you contradicts it. Now let me be clear. Prayer is not a magic trick. It is not a shortcut past discipline, effort, or strategy. The man who prays for abundance and then sits on his couch waiting for money to fall from the sky is a fool. He has misunderstood the entire process. Prayer activates the inner conditions for wealth. It aligns your mind, your emotions, and your spirit with the frequency of prosperity. It opens your eyes to opportunities that were always there but invisible to you before. It shifts your energy from resistance to receptivity. But you must still move. You must still work. You must still learn, grow, and take action in the direction of your goals. Prayer prepares the soil, but you must plant the seeds. Prayer opens the door, but you must walk through it. The difference is that when you pray with true faith, your actions become effortless, not easy effortless. There is a flow to your work, a grace to your movement, a synchronicity to your timing. Doors open that were previously closed. Opportunities appear that you never saw before. People come into your life who can help you. Ideas flood your mind. Solutions present themselves. Resources become available. The path becomes clear. This is the power of prayer combined with action. It is not one or the other. It is both, working together, creating a momentum that cannot be stopped. Prayer without action is presumption. Action without prayer is exhaustion, but prayer with action is unstoppable. You must also understand that the prayer for financial abundance is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice, a discipline, a commitment to keep your mind focused on provision even when your bank account tells a different story. Most people give up after a week. They pray, see no immediate change, and decide it does not work. They measure success in days when the process requires months. They expect instant results when the laws of manifestation operate on a different timeline. This is the behavior of children, not mature adults who understand the laws of manifestation. Children want what they want immediately. Adults understand that great things take time to build. The farmer does not plant seeds and dig them up the next day to check for growth. He plants with intention. He waters with consistency. He waits with patience. He trusts the process even when nothing appears to be happening on the surface. You must do the same. Your prayer is the seed. Your faith is the water. Your consistent action is the sun. Your patience is the soil. Over time, the harvest comes, but only if you do not quit. Only if you refuse to let temporary circumstances convince you that your prayers have failed. Every setback is a test of your resolve. Every delay is an opportunity to strengthen your faith. Every obstacle is a chance to prove how serious you are about your transformation. When you pass these tests, when you continue to pray and believe and act even when nothing seems to be happening, you build spiritual muscle that makes you unstoppable. You develop a quality of faith that cannot be shaken by circumstances. The universe is always testing to see if you are serious. If you collapse at the first sign of resistance, you prove that you were never truly committed. You reveal that your desire for abundance was just a whim, not a decision. But if you stand firm, if you keep declaring abundance no matter what your senses tell you, you prove that you are ready to receive. You demonstrate that you have the character required to handle wealth. You show that you will not waste what is given to you, and receive you will, because this is the law. Persistent faith backed by consistent action always produces results. Always, without exception, without fail. There are no exceptions, only those who quit too soon, only those who let doubt creep back in after a few days or weeks, only those who mistake a delay for a denial, only those who allow circumstances to override their commitment. Do not be one of them. Be the one who prays every morning as if your financial breakthrough has already happened. Be the one who thanks the shepherd for leading you to green pastures even when you are still walking through the valley. Be the one who sets the table in your mind and sits down to feast even when your physical table is empty. This is not delusion. This is faith. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the most powerful force in creation. It moves mountains. It parts seas. It creates worlds. When you learn to wield it through prayer, there is no limit to what you can attract into your life, no ceiling to your prosperity, no cap on your abundance, no restriction on your wealth, the authority behind your words. The reason most prayers fail is not because they are unheard, but because they are spoken without power. Power in prayer comes from knowing who you are, not who you think you are, not who others told you that you are, but who you truly are according to the laws of creation. You are not a victim begging for mercy. You are a child of the Most High, created in the image of infinite abundance. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not unworthy. You are a deliberate creation with a specific purpose and unlimited potential. The shepherd does not guide his sheep into poverty. He leads them to overflow. He anoints their heads with oil. He fills their cups until they run over. This is not metaphor. This is description of your inheritance, your birthright, your promised reality. This is your inheritance, but inheritance must be claimed. It does not automatically appear in your hands simply because it exists. A trust fund means nothing if you never access it. A treasure buried in your backyard is worthless if you never dig it up. You must step forward. You must declare it. You must pray with the authority of one who knows what belongs to them. You must speak as an heir, not as a beggar. You must approach the throne with confidence, not cowering. Too many people approach prayer with the energy of lack. They focus on what they do not have. They list their problems, their debts, their fears. They rehearse their failures. They catalog their limitations. And then they wonder why those very things expand in their lives. What you focus on grows. What you speak about multiplies. If your prayers are filled with complaints, you are watering the seeds of more struggle. You are fertilizing the very conditions you want to escape. But if your prayers are filled with gratitude, with declarations of abundance, with visions of prosperity already manifested, you are watering the seeds of wealth. You are nurturing the conditions that create financial breakthrough. This is not a game. This is the operating system of reality. Your words are instructions to the creative forces that surround you. Every time you speak, you are programming your future. Every time you pray, you are setting the course of your life. So guard your tongue. Speak only what you want to see. Declare only what you are ready to receive. Refuse to give voice to fear, doubt, or limitation. When you pray for financial abundance, do not ask for it as if it is far away. Speak as though it is already done. Say, "My needs are met. My wealth is increasing. Opportunities flow to me easily. Money comes to me from expected and unexpected sources. I am a magnet for prosperity. I walk in abundance every day." These are not empty words. They are commands, decrees, pronouncements that reshape reality. And when spoken with faith, with emotion, with absolute certainty, they reshape your inner world. And when your inner world changes, your outer world has no choice but to follow. This is the secret the wealthy have always known. They do not beg, they declare, they do not hope, they expect, they do not wait for permission, they take what is theirs, not through force, but through faith, through the unshakable knowing that they are meant to prosper. You must adopt this same mindset. You must stop seeing yourself as small, powerless, undeserving. You must stop waiting for someone to save you. You must stop expecting the system to change in your favor. The shepherd has already provided everything you need, but he will not force you to eat. He will not drag you to the table. He will lead you there, but you must choose to sit down. You must choose to feast. You must choose to live as one who is abundantly supplied. This choice begins in prayer, but it must continue in every thought, every word, every action. You cannot pray abundance in the morning and speak poverty in the afternoon. You cannot declare wealth and then complain about lack. You cannot affirm prosperity and then gossip about how unfair life is. Your life will always reflect your dominant state of mind. If your mind is filled with worry, your life will be filled with struggle. If your mind is filled with faith, your life will be filled with provision. If your mind is filled with gratitude, your life will be filled with more reasons to be grateful. This is not theory. This is fact. This is observable, repeatable, provable law. Every successful person, every wealthy individual, everyone who has ever risen from nothing to something has understood this principle. They controlled their thoughts. They disciplined their words. They refused to let circumstances dictate their beliefs. And because of this, they created circumstances that matched their beliefs. You can do the same. You have the same mind, the same creative power, the same access to universal abundance. The only difference is what you believe and how consistently you align with those beliefs. But you must commit. You must decide right now that you will no longer pray like a beggar. You will pray like a king. You will no longer ask for scraps. You will claim your inheritance. You will no longer accept lack as your reality. You will create abundance as your new normal. The prayer for financial abundance is not about getting something you do not have. It is about aligning with what has always been yours. It is about stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. It is about recognizing that the same power that creates worlds, that parts seas, that raises the dead, lives inside you. And when you pray from that power, nothing can stand in your way. Nothing can block your supply. Nothing can keep you from the wealth that is already moving toward you. So pray boldly. Pray with confidence. Pray as one who knows the shepherd never fails. Pray as one who walks through the valley of the shadow of death and fears no evil, because you know that even in the darkest moments, provision is being prepared. Pray as one who sits at the table in the presence of enemies, unbothered, unshaken, feasting while others watch in disbelief. Let them wonder. Let them question. Let them doubt. You know what they do not. You see what they cannot. You walk in a dimension of abundance they have not yet discovered. This is the prayer that activates financial abundance, not because it manipulates some external force, but because it awakens the force within you, the force that has been dormant, the force that has been waiting for you to remember who you are. When you remember, everything shifts. When you pray from that remembrance, miracles happen, money flows, opportunities open, ideas come, people appear, the path clears, and you step into a life of ease, of flow, of abundance that does not run out. This is your birthright. This is what you were made for. Now claim it, declare it, pray it into existence, and then watch as the universe rearranges itself to match the frequency of your faith. The foundation of unstoppable prayer. Understand this clearly. The prayer for financial abundance is not separate from the rest of your life. It is not something you do for 5 minutes in the morning and then forget. It cannot be compartmentalized. It cannot be isolated from your daily thoughts, words, and actions. It must become the foundation of how you think, how you speak, how you move through the world. Prayer is not an event. It is a state of being. It is a consciousness you maintain throughout every moment of your day. When you truly pray for abundance, you are not just saying words. You are choosing to live from a consciousness of plenty. You are deciding that no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter what challenges arise, you will remain anchored in the truth that you are provided for. This requires discipline. It requires vigilance. It requires you to catch yourself every time you slip back into old patterns of worry, fear, or complaint. It requires awareness of your internal dialogue. It requires control of your emotional state. Most people are unconscious. They let their minds run wild. They let negative thoughts pile up like garbage in an untended yard. They speak carelessly, never considering the power of their words. They entertain doubt as if it were a harmless visitor instead of a destructive force. And then they wonder why their prayers seem powerless. They wonder why nothing changes. They wonder why abundance continues to elude them. Your mind is the battlefield. If you do not control it, it will control you. And if your mind is filled with chaos, your prayers will have no foundation. They will be like seeds thrown on rocky ground. They may sprout temporarily, but they will die quickly because there is no depth. But when you take charge of your thoughts, when you refuse to let fear dominate, when you choose faith over doubt every single time, your prayers become unstoppable. They move mountains, they open doors, they create pathways where none existed before. The shepherd leads his sheep beside still waters, not troubled waters, not raging rivers, not chaotic seas, still waters. This is the state of mind you must cultivate, calm, certain, unshaken by the storms around you. When you pray from a place of stillness, from a place of inner peace, your words carry weight. They penetrate the invisible realm. They set forces into motion. They activate laws. They create realities. But when you pray from panic, from desperation, from fear, your words scatter. They have no power because they are not rooted in belief. They are noise without substance, wishes without conviction. If you want your prayers to activate financial abundance, you must first still your mind. You must quiet the noise. You must create inner calm, even when your outer world is chaotic, even when bills are due, even when the bank account is low, even when opportunities seem scarce. This is not easy. It takes practice. It takes intention. It takes commitment. But it is essential. Without inner stillness, your prayers are just words. With inner stillness, your prayers become decrees that reshape reality. Every morning, before you speak your declarations, before you pray your prayers, take a moment to breathe, to center yourself, to remember who you are, not what you own, not what you lack, not what others think, but who you truly are in the eyes of creation. You are not the circumstances. You are not the debt. You are not the struggle. You are the one who was created to overcome. You are the one who walks with the shepherd. You are the one whose cup overflows. When you pray from this awareness, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your words become commands. Your faith becomes unshakable. And the forces of creation respond. They must. Because this is the law. Faith attracts, doubt repels, certainty creates, fear destroys. These are not suggestions. These are laws as reliable as gravity. The character that sustains wealth. You must also understand that financial abundance is not just about money. It is about the mindset that creates money. It is about the habits that sustain money. It is about the character that attracts money and keeps it circulating in your life. If you pray for wealth but continue to live like a poor person, nothing will change. Your actions must match your prayers. Your behavior must align with your declarations. Your choices must reflect your faith. If you declare abundance but waste every dollar you receive, the universe will not send you more. Why would it? You have proven that you cannot steward what you already have. You have demonstrated that you do not respect the flow of resources. If you claim prosperity but refuse to invest in yourself, to learn, to grow, to improve your skills, you are praying with your lips but denying with your life. You are asking for wealth while remaining committed to the mindset and habits of poverty. The prayer for financial abundance must be followed by the actions of someone who believes. You must manage what you have as if more is coming. You must spend wisely, save intentionally, invest strategically, give generously. You must educate yourself. Read books about money. Study those who have built wealth. Learn the principles that govern financial success. Understand how money works. Know how to make it, keep it, and multiply it. Prayer opens the door, but you must walk through it. You must do the work. You must become the person who is capable of handling the abundance you are asking for. The shepherd prepares a table, but the sheep must eat. If you sit at the table and refuse to take a bite, you will starve in the presence of plenty. This is the tragedy of most people's lives, surrounded by opportunity but refusing to seize it. Do not be that foolish. Do not pray for abundance and then reject the opportunities that come because they require effort. Do not ask for provision and then complain when it arrives in a form you did not expect. The universe does not always deliver in the way you imagine. Sometimes the abundance comes as a new job. Sometimes it comes as an idea for a business. Sometimes it comes as a skill you must develop. Sometimes it comes as a person who offers you a chance. Sometimes it comes as a door opening in an unexpected direction. Be ready to receive in whatever form it takes. Be flexible. Be open. Be willing to move when the door opens. Many people pray for financial abundance and then do nothing. They wait for a miracle that requires no effort on their part. This is not faith. This is laziness disguised as spirituality. True faith acts. It moves. It takes the next step, even when the entire path is not visible. It says yes to opportunities, even when they seem small. It invests time, energy, and resources into growth, even when results are not immediate. If you want to activate financial abundance through prayer, you must become a person of action. A person who does not just talk about wealth, but builds it. A person who does not just dream about success, but works toward it every single day with focused intensity. Your prayer is the seed. Your action is the cultivation. Your persistence is the harvest. All three are required. Prayer without action is powerless. Action without prayer is exhausting. But when you combine them, when you pray with faith and work with discipline, you become an unstoppable force. Nothing can hold you back. Nothing can keep you from the wealth that is already yours. Nothing can prevent the manifestation of what you have believed and declared, the inevitable resistance. Now, let me address something most people will not tell you. There will be resistance. The moment you begin to pray for financial abundance, the moment you start to change your mindset, your habits, your actions, opposition will appear. Doubt will whisper in your ear. Fear will try to convince you it will not work. Circumstances will seem to get worse before they get better. Unexpected expenses will arise. Opportunities will fall through. Plans will fail. People around you will question what you are doing. They will tell you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to accept your current situation. They will mock your faith. They will dismiss your dreams. They will project their own limitations onto you. This is the test. This is where most people fail. They pray for a week, see no results, face some resistance, and give up. They decide prayer does not work. They go back to complaining, worrying, and struggling. They return to the familiar misery of financial lack. Do not be one of them. Understand that resistance is proof that you are on the right path. If your prayers were powerless, there would be no opposition. The fact that you are being tested means you are getting close to a breakthrough. So when doubt comes, reject it. When fear rises, speak against it. When circumstances look bleak, declare the opposite. When people question you, smile and continue. When obstacles appear, find another way around them. This is the fight. This is the battle, and you must win it in your mind before you see victory in your life. Every great achievement begins as a mental triumph over doubt, fear, and limitation. The valley of the shadow of death is not a physical place. It is a mental and emotional state. It is the moment when everything looks dark, when hope seems lost, when quitting feels easier than continuing, when every logical reason tells you to give up. But the psalm does not say the shepherd abandons you in the valley. It says he walks with you. His rod and staff comfort you. Even in the darkest moments, provision is being prepared. Even when you cannot see it, the table is being set. Even when enemies surround you, your head is being anointed. Your cup is being filled. You must hold on to this truth when everything in your life says otherwise. You must keep praying when your bank account is empty. You must keep declaring abundance when bills are piling up. You must keep believing when everyone around you thinks you are crazy. This is what separates those who break through from those who break down. The ability to stand firm in faith, even when circumstances scream defeat. The capacity to maintain conviction when evidence contradicts your beliefs. If you can do this, if you can persist in prayer and action no matter what, you will see financial abundance manifest in your life. Not because you earned it through struggle, but because you aligned with it through faith. Not because you forced it into existence, but because you believed it into reality. This is the power of prayer. This is the law of abundance, and it works for everyone who understands it and applies it without wavering, without compromise, without retreat. The inner transformation required. Now we come to the heart of it. The prayer that activates financial abundance is not just about what you say. It is about who you become while you say it. You cannot pray for wealth while harboring resentment toward those who have it. You cannot ask for abundance while secretly believing you do not deserve it. You cannot declare prosperity while carrying shame about your past financial failures. Every hidden belief, every unspoken fear, every buried emotion is either supporting your prayer or sabotaging it. The subconscious mind is powerful. It operates beneath your awareness, running programs you did not even know existed. You must go deeper. You must examine the roots of your relationship with money. What were you taught as a child? Did your parents struggle? Did they speak bitterness about the rich? Did they tell you that money is the root of all evil? That wanting wealth is greedy? That poverty is somehow more spiritual than prosperity? These lies are poison in your system. They create resistance that blocks the flow of abundance no matter how much you pray. They are like a dam in a river. The water wants to flow, but the obstruction prevents it. You must uproot them. You must challenge every limiting belief. You must ask yourself, is this true, or is this just something I was told by people who never figured out how to prosper? Is this wisdom, or is this just generational poverty disguised as virtue? Most of what you believe about money is not even yours. It is inherited, passed down from generation to generation like a disease. Your great-grandparents struggled, so they taught your grandparents to fear money. Your grandparents struggled, so they taught your parents that wealth is suspicious. Your parents struggled, so they taught you to settle for less. And if you do not break the cycle, you will pass it to your children. They will struggle just like you. They will pray just like you, and they will wonder why nothing changes. The curse will continue until someone has the courage to reject the lies and embrace the truth. The prayer for financial abundance begins with forgiveness. Forgive yourself for every poor decision. Forgive yourself for the money you wasted. Forgive yourself for the opportunities you missed. Forgive yourself for the years you spent in lack. Forgive your parents for what they did not teach you. They did the best they could with what they knew. Their ignorance was not malicious. Their limitations were not intentional. They were products of their own programming. Forgive those who have more than you. Release the envy. Let go of the resentment. Stop comparing your journey to theirs. Their success is not your failure. Their abundance does not diminish your potential. Release every ounce of bitterness, envy, and blame. These emotions are chains. They keep you locked in lack. They poison your prayers. They repel the very abundance you seek. But when you forgive, you set yourself free. You create space for new beliefs. You open the door for abundance to enter. You clear the channel through which prosperity flows. Forgiveness is not optional. It is required. You cannot move forward while dragging the past behind you. You cannot attract wealth while resenting those who have it. You cannot prosper while blaming others for your situation. Take responsibility. Own your choices. Acknowledge where you went wrong, and then choose differently. Choose to believe that you are worthy of wealth. Choose to see money as a tool, not a curse. Choose to celebrate the success of others as proof that abundance is real and available. When you make these choices, when you align your inner world with the reality you desire, your prayers become magnetic. They pull opportunities toward you. They attract resources. They create synchronicities that seem like luck, but are actually the result of your faith. The shepherd restores your soul. This is not just about rest. It is about renewal. It is about the transformation that happens when you stop striving and start trusting, when you stop forcing and start flowing, when you stop worrying and start worshiping. Worship is the highest form of prayer. It is not begging. It is not asking. It is simply acknowledging the greatness of the source of all provision. When you worship, when you express gratitude for what you have and what is coming, you align with abundance at the deepest level. Gratitude is the frequency of wealth. Complaining is the frequency of poverty. If you want to activate financial abundance, you must become a person of gratitude. Thank the shepherd for green pastures, even when you are in the desert. Thank him for still waters, even when your life feels chaotic. Thank him for the table, even when you are hungry. Thank him for the overflowing cup, even when yours feels empty. This is not fake positivity. This is faith in action. You are declaring that provision is coming. You are speaking it into existence. You are training your mind to expect good things. And your mind, being the powerful tool it is, will find ways to make it happen. Opportunities you overlooked will suddenly become visible. Ideas you dismissed will resurface with clarity. People you forgot about will reappear with offers. This is not magic. This is how your brain works. It seeks what you tell it to seek. If you tell it to find problems, it will. If you tell it to find solutions, it will. If you tell it to find poverty, it will. If you tell it to find abundance, it will. Your prayers program your mind, and your mind programs your reality. So be intentional, be specific, be consistent. Pray the same prayer every day until it becomes part of you, until you no longer have to think about it, until it flows from you naturally, effortlessly, powerfully. Some people change their prayers every week. They ask for one thing on Monday and something else on Friday. This is confusion. The universe cannot deliver to a moving target. You must plant your stake. You must decide what you want, and you must declare it over and over until it manifests. I want financial abundance. I am a magnet for wealth. Money flows to me easily and constantly. I am debt-free. I am financially secure. I live in overflow. Say these words every morning. Say them before you go to sleep. Say them when doubt creeps in. Say them when fear tries to take over. Say them until they are louder than any negative thought in your mind. This is the discipline of prayer. It is not glamorous. It is not complicated. But it is powerful, and it works. Not because the words are magic, but because repetition creates belief, and belief creates reality, the environment of abundance. You must also surround yourself with people who support your vision. If everyone around you is broke, bitter, and defeated, their energy will drag you down. You cannot soar with eagles while surrounded by chickens. Seek out those who believe in abundance, who live in abundance, who speak abundance. Their faith will strengthen yours. Their success will inspire you. Their wisdom will guide you. Do not be ashamed to distance yourself from negative influences. Even if they are family, even if they are longtime friends, Your future is more important than their comfort. Your financial breakthrough is more valuable than their opinions. Protect your mind, protect your energy, protect your prayer, and watch what happens when you do. The forces that have been working against you will lose their power. The obstacles that seemed insurmountable will shrink. The path that was blocked will open. And you will walk into the abundance you have been praying for, not because you manipulated the system, but because you aligned with the truth. The truth that you are meant to prosper. The truth that provision is your birthright. The truth that the shepherd never fails. When you live from this truth, when you pray from this truth, when you act from this truth, financial abundance is not a maybe, it is a certainty. It is only a matter of time before what you believe becomes what you see. So believe without wavering, pray without ceasing, act without hesitation, and prepare to receive beyond what you ever imagined possible. Your moment of decision. You are now standing at the edge of transformation. Everything you have read, everything you have absorbed, everything you have decided to believe has brought you to this moment. The prayer for financial abundance is no longer a mystery. It is a map. It is a blueprint. It is a proven path that has worked for every person who has ever risen from poverty to prosperity, from lack to overflow, from struggle to ease. But knowing the path is not the same as walking it. You must move, you must act, you must apply what you now understand with relentless consistency. The shepherd leads, but you must follow. The table is prepared, but you must sit. The cup is full, but you must drink. No one can do this for you. No one can believe for you. No one can pray for you. This is your journey, your responsibility, your breakthrough, and it begins the moment you stop reading and start doing. The first step is to make a decision, not a wish, not a hope, a decision. Decide right now that you will no longer accept financial struggle as your reality. Decide that you are done with barely getting by. Decide that you are finished with worry, stress, and fear about money. Decide that from this day forward, you are a person of abundance, a person who expects provision, a person who walks in confidence, knowing that wealth is flowing toward you at all times. This decision is not based on your current circumstances. It is based on your faith. It is based on your understanding of how the universe operates. It is based on the truth that has been written, that the shepherd provides, that green pastures exist, that still waters are real, that the table is set, that the cup overflows. Once you make this decision, you must guard it fiercely. Doubt will attack. Fear will whisper. Circumstances will test you. Do not waver. Do not compromise. Do not retreat back into old patterns of thinking. Stand firm in your decision. Speak it out loud every day. Write it down. Look at it. Remind yourself that this is who you are now. A person of faith, a person of abundance, a person who prays with power and lives with expectation. The second step is to establish a daily prayer practice, not a random prayer when you feel like it, a disciplined, intentional, consistent practice. Every morning before you read the news, before you allow the world to fill your mind with its chaos, spend time in prayer. Speak your declarations. Thank the shepherd for provision. Visualize yourself living in financial abundance. Feel the emotions of success. See the money in your account. Imagine the freedom, the peace, the joy that comes with financial security. Do this every single day. Make it non-negotiable. The world will try to steal your time. Responsibilities will pile up. Distractions will multiply. But if you allow your prayer practice to slip, you are allowing your faith to weaken, and weak faith produces weak results. Strong faith, disciplined faith, consistent faith produces miracles. So protect your prayer time. Fight for it. Prioritize it above everything else, because this is where your transformation begins. This is where your abundance is activated. This is where you align with the frequency of wealth. The third step is to take immediate action. Identify one thing you can do today that moves you toward financial abundance. Maybe it is creating a budget. Maybe it is learning a new skill. Maybe it is starting a side business. Maybe it is reaching out to someone who can help you. Maybe it is cutting an unnecessary expense. Maybe it is investing a small amount of money. Whatever it is, do it. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait until you feel ready. Do not wait for permission. Move now. Take the first step, and then take the next one, and the next one. Action is proof of faith. If you say you believe in abundance but do nothing, you are lying to yourself. But if you pray and then move, if you declare and then act, if you speak and then work, you create momentum. And momentum is unstoppable. It builds, it compounds, it accelerates, until one day you look up and realize that your life has completely changed, that the abundance you prayed for is now your reality, that the shepherd has led you to green pastures beside still waters, to a table overflowing with provision. This is not a dream. This is your future, but only if you commit, only if you decide, only if you pray, only if you act, only if you refuse to quit no matter what obstacles appear. The valley of the shadow of death is not the end. It is the path to the table. The enemies that surround you are not a threat. They are witnesses to your victory. The anointing on your head is not for show. It is the mark of one who has been chosen, favored, blessed. And your cup does not overflow by accident. It overflows because you believed it would, because you prayed it into existence, because you aligned your mind, your words, and your actions with the truth that you are meant for abundance. So stand tall, walk boldly, speak with authority, pray with power, act with confidence, and watch as the forces of creation rearrange themselves to bring you everything you have been asking for. Financial abundance is not reserved for a select few. It is available to anyone who understands the principles, applies the prayer, and refuses to give up. You are one of those people. You have been chosen. You have been called. You have been equipped. Now it is time to step into your destiny. The shepherd is leading. The pastures are green. The waters are still. The table is set. The cup is full. All that remains is for you to follow, to feast, to drink, to receive. Do not hesitate. Do not delay. Do not doubt. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your breakthrough. Activate your financial abundance through prayer. Align your life with the truth and live in the overflow that has always been yours. The journey begins now, and it will never end. Because once you learn how to pray with faith, how to think with abundance, how to act with confidence, you unlock a flow of provision that continues for the rest of your life. This is the promise. This is the law. This is your inheritance. Claim it, declare it, live it. And watch as everything you have ever wanted flows to you with ease, with grace, with unstoppable momentum. You are abundant. You are provided for. You are blessed beyond measure. Now go and prove it. Pray the prayer, live the truth, and step into the wealth that has been waiting for you since before time began. The shepherd never fails. The provision never runs out, and your cup will overflow forever. This is not the end. This is the beginning, and your new life of financial abundance starts right now.